evening and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It's Thursday the 5th? Yeah, because today's Switch launch day. It is Thursday the 5th. As you can see, we're rocking a whole new look here. I'm still tinkering with it. It's a work in progress, it's open to interpretation. Hey, I like it. So, Josh, what the fuck are you laughing at?
Nerd!
What the fuck are you
I can't
laughing at,
see
guys?
anything because there's a stupid fucking...
The background is the splash screen from the beginning of the first Final Fantasy game when you're leaving Cornelia and you hit the bridge and it's like...
Fucking knew it.
The theme plays.
I'm gonna throw up. Nasty.
Is this legal? Do we have the rights to use this background?
We're gonna
We
get
do,
nuked by
actually.
Square
We
Enix,
do.
bro. We're gonna fucking like...
No,
I think we actually are in the Square Enix content creator thing,
We
so
are.
we might actually have permission.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah, no. Like I said,
Oh, man.
it's a work in progress. We're gonna fuck around with it and play with it a little bit. So guys, we have
I'm
a
gonna
lot.
say some heinous things to represent Final Fantasy poorly. I just hope you know.
That's fine. CJ, look,
He
freedom of
means
speech.
it, to be clear.
Freedom of
I
speech.
miss you, CJ.
I don't
Freedom
think we expect any less.
freedom of speech maybe on the downslide in America, but it still exists here. CJ, you are free to say what you want. I'm not gonna hold you back. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got fucking PAX. We've got the State of Play. We got the Switch 2. We got whatever the fuck they're gonna announce at Summer Games Fest. Our buddy Josh is here. Josh, what's up, pal? Miss you.
What's going on? Good to see you.
Just to quickly address the elephant in the room, we did take a few weeks off. Derek will not be returning to the show, but Britt is taking a short hiatus. She'll be back. And that's that. Moving on. Life goes on. So, gentlemen, here's what I'm thinking. There's a lot to cover tonight. We have a lot to fucking talk about.
Good a little bit.
I am perfectly fine just skipping what we've been playing because, I mean, let's face it, I'm just going to talk about the Switch 2 anyway, right? So, I could talk about...
I really want to do what we've been playing because I've genuinely been very much looking forward to talking about stuff on the show.
Okay, so, all right, so I'll tell you what. Justin...
And I don't have I don't have a Switch 2. I do not have a Switch 2.
Hold
so I
on.
can't give
No,
any
that's fair.
impressions.
I'm
That's
gonna
totally
mediate
fair.
here, all right?
You don't
Totally fair.
do what you've been playing, John.
Let me weigh in really quickly. John is currently in between jobs, which is fine. But that means he's had time to play the Switch 2. So... I want to hear John's thoughts on Switch 2, but I also want to hear what... So, John, why doesn't Switch 2... Why don't you use that for your what we've been playing?
Well, so...
And then we'll just... you go last,
Here,
we'll lead
here we
into
go.
that.
Here we go.
And then-
Well, John, yeah, like Jeff said, right? Look, you're gonna bring up the Switch 2. I have a Switch 2. I've had no time to play with it,
Well,
but I do want to
Let's
talk
do what
about
we've
it.
been playing, and then...
We'll circle
and then,
back to
John, you
John.
can talk about Switch 2, and we'll lead into that. And then we'll do PAX after.
I will go last, because right now I'm trying to figure out why only Jeff is showing up in Discord, as far as, the video goes, because all of our cameras are on. So start with someone else.
My camera is not on.
Well, I mean, it should be showing at least me, Josh, and
Yeah.
Jeff.
No, what he's saying, I have the stream up on the other
Oh,
screen
gotcha.
because I always like to keep eyes on chat and things like that.
Yeah.
And on that screen, even though me, Jeff, and John all have our cameras on, only Jeff is actually showing up over there. It's just like a gray box for me and John.
Well,
Everyone booed
okay,
Jeff
now I'm
with
over
his
there.
jersey.
I just fixed you, so...
yeah.
and
I
just
think it's
fixed
just
me.
Discord being Discord.
It's
yeah,
just- yep, I
a
fixed
couple
it.
of you were coming in robotic for me, too.
I fixed it. I fixed it. Oh, sweet. Look at that, dude. I'm a fucking technological genius. All right, who wants to go first? I'm very proud of myself for this. I figured this shit out without any help.
Why doesn't Justin go first?
Yeah, Justin, please. What are we talking
Justin.
about?
So I played a couple games. I played through Doom: The Dark Ages, which is very cool. But I'm not going to talk too much about that one tonight. I wanted to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 quite a bit. It was a game that really blindsided me with how much I loved it. I finished it up over the weekend, and it ended up going places that I wasn't expecting and ended up being very relevant for me where I am in my life. I already had loved the game before that, but it ended up resonating. a lot, everybody's been saying it's great. Like I just had a blast playing that game. It like tonally, it was exactly what I love. Like it has some really like grim, depressing stuff in it, but it also doesn't lose like a sense of whimsy. There's some really funny like laugh out loud things in it. Like it's not like depressing the entire way through, but it also doesn't like it lets like the heavy moments really sit with you.
It's very
I grinded
French,
out Simon,
Justin.
the
It's very
optional
French.
super boss. It is. It's very French. I grinded out the optional super boss for like 3 days. That was harder than Melania was in Elden Ring. But the last part of that game lets you just kind of go nuts. Like there's probably the most like optional like late game stuff that I think I've played in an RPG in a long time. And at that point, they just let you totally break the combat system, but they break it back at you. So like, it's this really fun balance of just having this really overpowered party and then hitting a boss that's just basically cheating, and so you cheat back to win. And it was just a blast going through it. Like, I haven't gotten that into an RPG in a long time, and part of it too was also just because it was a new IP. Like a lot of stuff has just been, it's like has a history behind it, even if it's like a different entry in a franchise. It's people that have been working on them for a long time. And this is a lot of like fresh developers, young developers, creating their own world. And a lot of the stuff that they do in here, like, it's very clear that they were just like, we're putting every idea that we have in, because we don't know if we're going to get another shot at this.
Sometimes, Justin, I think that can work to a developer's
really
detriment.
Fresh and interesting.
I was just gonna say, obviously not.
John,
here,
you're cutting out. I have no idea what you're saying.
Am I cutting out? Because I can hear you cutting out.
Yeah, I only heard maybe half the words you said, and your video was lagging. I don't know what you were saying.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that like sometimes throwing everything but the kitchen sink at a game can be to the game's detriment, because it doesn't feel like that game has a real identity. But that doesn't seem the case here.
It's less that like they throw out, not like throw everything like it's very focused. Like the game is very focused on the combat. Like it is a very combat focused RPG, and a lot of the stuff is built around that. It's less that it's not like a bunch of different like features or gameplay mechanics or something, but it's like it's a very full, complete story. Like it's not. I also can't remember the last time I played a new IP for a video game that wasn't like, oh, we're trying to set up this big franchise, we're trying to like make a bunch of sequels. It's like, no, this is clearly like set up to be like a full, complete story, and that kind of made it satisfying in a way I haven't felt in a while. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. It's super charming. It's nice to see a smaller studio kind of come out swinging with their first game, and have it resonate with a lot of people. And it's something that it was an experience I'm not going to forget anytime soon. It's an all-time favorite for me now, and I can't see anything else beating it for Game of the Year unless something comes out of left field. And this was a game I was like mildly interested before it came out. Like I only picked it up because I got a gift card. And I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll try this. People are saying it's good, and I was just floored.
Which is kind of crazy, Justin, because I
think
thought
that's the big takeaway.
No, Jeff, please.
Yeah, sorry, there's a bit of delay in between the
Yeah, no, dude,
Discord for me. Like,
Discord is fucked tonight. It's not great.
Yeah, we'll get through it.
Mainly with John.
Yeah, the big takeaway for me is just like like aside from the phenomenal quality of the game, it's just like the state of the industry right now. I think we're all very cynical and jaded, and it feels like there's more bad news than good. So to see, like Justin said, like a new team, a fresh team, new IP, to see that genuine creativity and passion can still pay off, and to get enough exposure to sell like several million copies, because exposure is another big thing now, right? Like it's really hard to get your game noticed if you're not on Game Pass.
They are on Game Pass too. They sold 3.3 million copies and are on Game Pass.
I don't feel like Pass drove the success of it. I think it really stood on its own merits.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
and
that's just
yeah.
another way it's been successful. Like,
Mhm.
it has been a feel-good story for the industry that has been in bad shape. Like, the game's not full price; it's $50. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, you know, it's a smaller team. It's a lower budget title, and you know, it's been selling very well, reviewed very well. And I think we're going to see some really great stuff from that team in the future. But like, this is a really special way for them to start. And I'm going to have a eye on what they do. And also, we're going to be hearing that composer in a lot of other games because holy hell,
You know,
that composer brought it.
You know what's crazy is that, like, I feel like if anybody on this podcast was going to enjoy a JRPG, it would be Jeff. And it was Justin instead. So
everyone said I'll love this. Like my one hesitation is my most hated mechanic in games is parrying, but I understand that there's like you can knock down the difficulty and stuff. It's just that's like my one. I was like all in until I heard about that. But I know lots of people who are like, yeah, you can just bump it down, super easy story mode, just ignore it. So that's probably what I'll do. I'm just waiting. I just want to make sure I have like the time to really sink into it and really get immersed in it. So to be honest, I'll probably play it in the fall or winter.
If you do the main story, it's not super long. If you just like mainline it, it's like 30-ish hours if you do the main story.
Yeah.
And I did everything. Like I got the platinum. I did absolutely everything, and a lot of that was just grinding out that one boss, and it was like 62 hours total. And that was for like 100%.
I gotta be honest, I played the first couple hours of Clair Obscur, and you'd think that this was a game that I would love, and I didn't. I was deathly bored by it. I can't explain why.
I do not even understand how that could have happened.
I think I've actually cracked the code on this already. I was talking with Britt about it the other day. I think I've cracked the code on this about it.
All right, let's hear it.
Clair Obscura has the whole like hitting commands during combat and like having to be actively involved. You also don't like Legend of Dragoon. I just think you only like active time-based combat if it's sprites or Mario.
That's not true at all. Legend
Name another one.
Legend of Dragoon is a bad game.
3D RPG. Thank you.
Legend of Legaia?
Defense rest, ladies and gentlemen. That's not active combat at all. You preset your actions.
Final Fantasy 16? Like, I'm not sure.
You don't have to time your hits.
What do you want from me, Josh? Okay, Legend of Dragoon is a bad game. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. Like, it is
the defense rests, Your Honor.
It's Temu Final Fantasy 7 for the PlayStation. And you fucking know it. You're just gonna sit there smug, grinning at me through your teeth, fucking chewing your gum, whatever you're doing, acting all cool, trying to play it off like, oh yeah, Legend of Dragoon is just John being John.
I'm gonna say that you. John, I just do want to be clear. Are you equating chewing gum to being cool?
No.
I do just want to be clear for the audience.
I'm not trying to. Anyway, Justin, I am glad you're enjoying it, man. I don't know what the fuck everybody in chat's laughing about now. Legend of Dragoon. So we've established that Legend of Dragoon is not a very good game. Justin, did you have anything else you wanted to speak on in regards to Clair Obscur?
Yeah, it's the greatest fucking game ever.
Oh, there's Finn. I was wondering where the fuck you were.
I told you I had a power outage. That's why I'm just on my phone right now.
I can't be fucking... I can't be constantly checking Discord, dude. I got a show to run. But I'm glad you're here.
Finn, what you been playing, man?
Clair Obscur, baby. 64 hours in, and I'm 1 trophy away from the platinum.
It's amazing how close that number just was.
It was close.
Like, it really was almost
funny,
to the T the same thing Justin just said.
It was really close.
What?
Yeah.
Justin,
I literally just said I got 63? The platinum after 64 hours.
Oh, as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Like, really?" That is just so that good. We got the number, folks.
It's so good.
I have a theory that like consistent play times are like a hallmark of, well, not always, but like a well-designed game where like over the grand scheme of things, it kind of takes everyone. It means there's kind of a level playing field where no one's spending 20 hours really getting lost or backtracking and stuff like that. So that's like,
I
And
think
they've
they
tightly
probably did.
controlled the overall experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was
Some
probably
way
like the
to-
result of a lot of playtesting. Because I remember even months ago they were saying 30 hours for the main story, about 60 to 100% it, and almost every single person I've talked to has been like within a couple hours of those numbers.
It's just so good.
I really want to dive into it. I just have not had time yet. I plan to over this next week because I finally finished the stuff I've been playing. So
Well, I mean,
plan to, 'cause
when
I've
it
heard nothing but
absolutely,
good things other than John.
well, I mean, you know, it's absolutely going to come to Switch too. Like we all know this, right? Like it's going to come to Switch too, which I think is a great thing
And when it
because
does, I will 100% double dip.
yeah, no,
I will
like
support the hell out of this.
I'll be
game.
honest
Damn,
with you.
that
I'll be honest
good?
with you. Like, despite the fact that it didn't click with me, it is really, really nice to see, like, you know, a small studio come out swinging hard for their first time and absolutely knock it out of the park in regards to sales. Because it sold like what, north of 3.5 million copies now. Something
They
crazy. shit
made
like
an
that.
announcement when it hit 3.3.
Yeah, it hit 3.3 million
Yeah,
copies sold on the
first
33 days. On the 33rd
Yep.
day that it was on sale.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, I mean, good for him though, man. Good on him, dude. Like, that's fucking outstanding. So yeah, very, very
I'm just
gratifying.
honestly shocked it didn't click with John. It's literally a combination of his two favorite things. I'm so blown away that it didn't like resonate with him.
Yeah, maybe
RPGs.
but it's
No,
not
Frank?
based. It's not based on a 30-year-old RPG franchise.
Maybe I just don't like.
shit,
Maybe
you're right.
maybe I just don't like the French. Who knows? Like, who can say? I have no problem with the French.
This game has actually done more for the French than anything in history.
That might be a knock against it.
Also, I just need to give, if I may, I just need to give a shout out to, I'm assuming most of y'all here know her, but Ash Parrish,
Yep.
wonderful games
Oh, of
journalist.
course, she's been on-
She goes by on
Yeah,
that.
she's been on multiple times.
Yes. Ash Parrish, genuinely one of the funniest people there is, who came up with the banger the other day of like the broke woke bespoke format, and with JRPG as the base, and the
JRPG.
bespoke was Je suis Caden.
Je suis Caden is really good.
Which
Je suis Caden is really good.
it's-
Like, that's powerful.
Just Ash. God damn, I was
That's-
literally drinking when I read it and did a actual spit take.
That's
I
good
wasn't
shit.
ready.
That's really good. That's really good.
Hey, you remember that time when Josh didn't invite me to any panels?
I do remember that time, Finn. I physically have not had time to make it up to you yet.
That's. I don't even know how to react.
Well, anyway,
That's
so
not awkward at all.
So
so Claire,
I'm not going to hear the end of it until I do make it
No,
up
of
to
course
it, which
not.
is fine.
Can I just say that? Can I
Claire
just say
Obscure
that?
is what I've been spending the most of my time on. Hold on. Caitlin and I we're almost done Split Fiction. I'm on the last area of Avowed, and I just finished, got all the achievements for South at Midnight. So it's been a solid month of gaming for me.
You got too much time, man. You need to have another kid.
No, I don't know how I've been picking away at all these games over the past of like 3 months, and now they're all finally coming to a close.
You know what's really cool is Claire Obscure would make a really good name for like the lead detective in a series of books, like, you know, about like, some detectives investigating occult stuff. Like, I just think like Claire Obscure would be a really good name for that protagonist. I think there's a missed opportunity there somewhere. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to talk about in regards to what I've been playing is the Switch 2. Josh, I know that you have a Switch 2. Shut the fuck up.
I don't like you.
What's that?
I do. I have one too.
Okay, so what I'm going to talk about in regards to what I've been playing is the Switch 2. I got mine last night. And by the way, like, I mentioned this on Blue Sky, but please don't fucking, like, if it's midnight and people are lined up in their pajamas, don't stick vlogging cameras in people's faces and be like, "Are you excited?" Like, dude, it's fucking 12:30 at night. I'm here buying a video game console. Yes, there's a good chance I'm excited.
Real
Don't-
quick. hold up before Switch 2.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what I'm playing. I just unpacked my Switch 2.
Okay, let's get the
Oh, okay,
non-Switch
okay,
2
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
out of the
Okay,
way,
yeah,
so
no,
all
please,
the-
no, CJ, go ahead. Yeah,
And then and all the losers who haven't played the Switch 2 can just
yeah.
quietly
All the fucking
out of here.
scrubs.
I'm barely on, and this doesn't make me feel welcome. I'm making a note of that. I just hope you guys know.
On the list.
So that's all. Yeah, so my grievances. So I don't play video games anymore. So I'm gonna waste your time real quick. I haven't. What is it? I'm too goddamn busy. But like for the past month, I played 2 games. I think I'm at like 80 hours combined. I've played nothing but Forza Horizon 5. I've like straight. I think since it launched to the point where I didn't ask for another review code for like weeks. I've ignored virtually any other requests to play video games. My cousin's begging me to play Helldivers 2 with him, but I like deleted it off my PlayStation to fit Forza Horizon 5. It is the greatest racing game. No, that's too far. But it's a very good racing game. I played it at launch on Series S. I really liked it, but obviously the Series S is a poopy console that doesn't look good, and I'm very
It's a
picky and
poopy
I'm very.
console.
It really is. It's a glorified Xbox 360. It's a glorified.
If it was like $200 cheaper, it'd be a fantastic system.
Well,
Dude,
Jeff,
this is
I got bad news for you.
It's more than a
$200
PS5.
cheaper.
Right? It's more than a
And
PS5
made by
right now.
Amber Nick?
Yeah.
Dude, look, 100%. This shit, like, so whatever. I'm playing on PS5. Great, 70 hours. I've done not. There's very few games where I can play for more than like 10 hours and kind of like fall off. I think the last thing that like really hooked at me, got it hooked to me was like the Crew Motorfest. I think I have like 150 hours in that game, like since I reviewed it. So this is like the only like other thing where I'm like, okay, finally, I have a game I can play. Because I have no interest in anything new. I don't know what's coming out. There's nothing on my radar because I think my blue sky, there's no video game stuff at all, which is like beautiful and nice. I don't know how the fuck you guys do it. How the fuck you guys queue up video games? But I played so much Forza Horizon 5. Excellent, wonderful game. I'm blessed. I'm happy that it came to a better console. It's been the most consistent thing. I think I posted I don't know how many screenshots on Blue Sky. I've skeeted so many of those screenshots.
Oh my god, I hate that.
All over my feed. All over my feed.
Just
I need
skeeting.
Jeff to like adopt it by accident.
CJ's just skeeting shit all over the place. Like just constant skeets from CJ.
CJ, I can actually call. Well, you may not be playing games now, but I know you'll be playing games in early July.
Oh my god, that triple! I think I told Jeff the only episode I won't miss in July if I can help it is the triple header of Tony Hawk, Donkey Kong, college football.
Dude,
You're just going. CJ is gonna ascend.
Oh my god, that's
So I guess you could say it's going to be the month of July.
That's an insane lineup. That is an insane lineup.
In July,
absolutely insane.
In July, the C is going to stand.
What about Tony Hawk? I only remember Donkey Kong and college football, and you just reminded me. I was like,
in July, the C in CJ is going to stand for content. I'm telling you that right now. Like that's what's coming down the pipeline.
Not even. Let's tone it down. Let's tone it down just a little bit. Let's not.
Does the state? Will the J stand for Johnson?
Up.
Content Johnson.
Content
but other than that, no,
Johnson.
it's Forza. Content Johnson.
Content Johnson. Content Outlaw.
Yeah, actually named after CJ from San Andreas. That's like a funny thing. My parents thought it'd be funny to be like, all right, let's name him after a GTA character. Other than that, the only other thing I'm playing is F125 because I'm reviewing it. But there's very little I'm looking forward to, with the exception of the 3 games I just mentioned, and then whatever we'll talk about with the Switch 2 in a bit. But yeah, man, Forza Horizon 5, Jesus fucking Christ. I was telling Jeff I picked up PGA 2K25 and I've put 10 hours into it. Again, neglecting anyone who's asking me to play video games with them because I'm nah, I gotta work on my swing. work on my swing.
It's a good game, man. I got fucking mocked for playing a golf game.
No.
I'm telling you, hold on. Back to back of me playing nothing but LB The Show 25 and PGA 2K25 is like the greatest stretch of me playing a video games ever. I don't think you understand how I went from playing. I think I reviewed Assassin's Creed Shadows, and immediately as soon as I'm like, okay, I can submit my review. My PlayStation told me, hey, your copy of LB The Show 25 unlocked. Let's fucking go. I'm never playing another third-person action game ever again.
Yes.
Do not hit me with anything with the story. Do not hit me with anything with, like, whatever groundbreaking grab. Now, if it doesn't have a stick, a ball, or a car, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
What about Splitgate 2, CJ? What about Splitgate 2?
Bro, Splitgate 2 fucking rules. I can't wait for the sweats to ruin it. I cannot wait for people who think that that video games need to be competitive ruin everything I love. I cannot wait. It is why I never play any sport game online. 100%. I hate gamers so goddamn much. I fucking hate them so goddamn much. I'm done. We can talk about the Switch 2 now.
Oh,
I guess it is.
I'll go next.
What? Jeff?
Mine will be quick.
No, Jeff, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jeff.
No,
I
it's all good.
apologize.
It's all good.
I mean, I'm not so pissed at you for like other reasons.
Yeah, I know that's fair. That's all to me for some reason. I'll go next. I've only been playing one game for the last few weeks. I'm playing Oblivion Remastered. I don't have much to say. I talked about it last time on the show. I think it's Oblivion. It's the same game. It looks nice. For some reason, I have 65 hours in it. I like Elder Scrolls games, but like as I'm playing it, I'm kind of like, I don't know why I like this. I'm not particularly into any of the narrative. The combat is obviously, like, especially by today's standards, it's not good. It's not fun. The load times for like a remaster are, and like on like I have a fucking high-end PC, are insanely long. It's like even buggier than the original. I put 20 hours into the original on Xbox. By backwards compatibility.
Those are the new features for the remaster, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my least favorite of the Elder Scrolls games. It's missing some stuff I like in Skyrim, and Morrowind I think just had a way better, more interesting world, more interesting biomes. I just like the vibes of Morrowind are just to me unmatched. But
isn't it crazy how Skyrim is still like one of the greatest games ever, but every time you start it up again, it's the most boring shit you'll ever play, like immediately.
Yeah, I know. I have 150 hours in it, and I've tried to go back to it 3 times, and I got like 2 hours, and I'm like, what am I fucking doing?
I have it on Switch. And
what were we doing in 2011? What were we doing?
Dude, I'm
Jeff,
gonna
I think my favorite.
play this shit, and then it fucking sucks after 2 hours. I'm like, bro, what? It's just garbage. Why am I playing? Why am I putting myself
Jeff,
through
I
this
think
shit?
my favorite is how much you put in there after saying the amount of time you spent. That you're like,
65
I don't
hours.
know, the story's kind of subpar, the combat sucks, it's glitchy as fuck.
It doesn't run well.
60, I put
hours.
65 hours into it. It's 7 out of 10. I don't know.
Jeff's gonna be like one of those Steam reviews that's like not
Literally, it's
recommended, like
Do not
2,200 hours.
1,350 hours in.
You know what it is? It's like I've conditioned myself to play this game. I don't know if you guys have seen The Office. There's one where Jim trains Dwight to want a breath mint every time he shuts down his computer.
Yes!
Just associated with the sound.
You have logged yourself into fucking playing.
Yeah. So like
Elder
I
Scrolls
wake
game.
up in the morning and I play games for an hour before I start work because I work from home and I need like a little bit of downtime before I get into it. I wake up and I make a coffee and like my body just goes, I guess I'll go play an hour of Oblivion. And I just play it, and I'm pretty sure I have no expression on my face. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm just staring at that screen, completely dead inside, just going through the motions, and I'm like, all right. I did another cave that looked exactly like the other 20 caves.
Jeff's the fucking Manchurian candidate, but it's Bethesda.
Todd Howard has just programmed Jeff to just
There's
play
just a
Oblivion.
Russian act. He's the Manchurian candidate, but it's a Russian activation phase, and he just has to dive into Bethesda games, whatever's the nearest.
Jeff is just
You're describing me circa 2020.
My activation is you have violated the law.
I just have this mental picture of Jeff putting his controller down after playing it for 5 hours, and like as a single tear rolls down his face, just says blankly, "I love video games."
Oh man, I can't fucking wait for Elder Scrolls 6, man. I'm
It's-
so excited for that game, and I don't know why.
It's the Wojak meme of like the really pretty woman and like the decrepit dying guy, and it's like the woman is oblivion saying, "Honey, it's time to play me," and Jeff's just the guy who's like,
Jeff, the what is it? Installing Elder Scrolls 6 will be the highest high I'll ever feel.
Installing
and
it
then,
specifically.
and then the next hour playing it will be one of the lowest.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh,
They're
right.
gonna have like two sequences like of the horse-drawn carriage. Oh, you know, it
Oh my
worth of
God.
like came in the beginning. I'm calling it now. It's gonna take
Dude, I
5 hours
can't-
to start.
I can't fucking wait to see what they do for the intro of that game. Those are just legendary. I really don't want to.
Hours.
We got like interesting stuff to talk about. I want to spend more time talking about this game. So I don't know. Why doesn't someone talk about the Switch too?
So I will. I'll jump in here, and I want to bring CJ into something that I'm going to talk about. So I got back last night around 12:30, and I'm opening it up, and I'm all excited. And the first thing I noticed, and CJ, you and I were talking about this via chat earlier today. The first thing you notice is that it is so much more comfortable to hold than the original Switch. It's not perfect,
But yes.
but
yes. 100%,
Ergonomically,
yes.
but it's fucking heavy. That's a
I
heavy.
see.
It is. But to
No,
me,
it's heavier. It's heavier for sure.
all right. Finn
maybe,
doesn't like us anymore.
yeah, Finn's gone.
I know. He said there's no power. I know.
And yes,
no power.
John, I know your arms are the size of tree trunks, so I'm sure the weight doesn't affect you. But some of us have little spaghetti ass arms.
You don't know
Finish.
that. You don't know that I was gonna go there.
I
Yeah,
will
Gil.
say.
I know you're always looking for a reason to.
I have been getting in shape and working out and this, that, or the other, so maybe my opinion is tainted. For me, I do agree also because I like that it's a little heavier.
I do too.
Because
I agree.
Yeah.
the previous Switch always felt just a bit too flimsy. This feels kind of just right.
Well-
like
well,
it has
the-
some weight to it.
I like my electronics to be heavy.
Yes,
And
I want it to have
premium
some
experience,
body.
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing about the Switch too,
So,
is that it immediately feels far more premium than the original Switch ever did, and I think that is not just it's helped not just by the bigger size and the heavier weight, but also the fact that when you stick those Joy-Cons in, there's zero give. There's no wiggle. There's no wobble.
So
Dude.
Like
I was not ready. Like
But
I went back.
this
to my
right
old
here is one of the most satisfying things.
Switch. Yeah.
yeah, it's so
I
good.
went back to sell my old Switch, and I was packaging it up and pulling the Joy-Cons off, and I was like pushing in the button and fucking ripping that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like Captain America ripping the tree trunk in half. Like fucking had to yank that thing out of there.
My right Joy-Con just like slides
laughing.
right out. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I do not put like a cover on it, it just slides off. It is unusable in handheld mode without a cover.
Yeah, no, these ones are nice.
You know what's funny? Because it's like my OLED has like existed in two places, either in its stock or in like my Nitro deck. So I'm like one of those iPad kids who has like those like expensive ass plastic covers over an iPad.
Dude, the Nitro
because I'm a
deck is
child and
legit.
I can't hold the fucking. I can't hold like the
100%.
fucking. 100%. The original Switch Joy-Cons are maybe the worst invention ever.
Yeah, they're not great.
They're up there. They're up there with like nuclear bombs and like guns. I guess like 100%. I hate them, and I don't.
They're like
the
they're
Joy-Con
number
ones.
3 on that list, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, like, no joke. The original Switch to me in like handheld mode with no accessories is not playable. Like
No, it's not for me
physically,
either.
those-
I hate it.
They're flat little like.
D-pad too.
It's
Yeah.
the
Oh my
same
God,
thing.
dude.
Where like it's you want I need a case or something on it. Yeah, for protection. No, I have a Nitro deck on the original Switch, partially for protection to a degree, along with the screen protector. But really, it's just because this bitch is too small and my
If you
hands
don't
get cramped.
look, I'll just say this: if you don't have a Nitro deck on an original Switch, you're a fucking sucker. Like, it just if you have an OG Switch, put that motherfucker in a Nitro deck. Like, listen to wise CJ on this one. CJ knows what the fuck is up. With
Listen, the Nitro deck. The Nitro deck is so good. Like it transformed like my OLED into like an actual playable handheld.
Yeah.
With that said, like the Switch 2 is heftier,
is.
and it feels like a premium product. It feels like okay, this isn't some stupid ass toy made by some stupid ass toy company who doesn't know how to fucking make things that like last. Like it feels like hey, Nintendo finally learned a lesson, right?
Yeah.
If the Wii U to Switch was like all right, they made like an interesting piece of tech, not like a plastic toy. This feels like okay, this is like on par with like an iPhone or like a new PC or
And
something.
then,
Like,
no,
really
CJ,
is.
that's spot on. I was going to compare it to like it feels like an Apple product when you're holding it, right? Like it feels like it's like, okay, I did spend $450 on this thing, but it feels like I spent $450 on it. Like this is an expensive fucking device, and the first thing I
Man,
did,
yours was only $450, huh?
well, I mean, I got the Mario Kart bundle, so it was $500. But like for the unit itself, the base unit itself.
So funny story. I could not get a bundle. Like they only gave me the standard. So I bought the game digitally from GameStop. They gave me a code on my receipt. When I went back to pick it up at midnight, they accidentally gave me a cartridge with it too. So I just have an extra copy of Mario Kart World that's not on my receipt. So I can't return it because they won't give me anything for it. They'll just be like, oh, thanks.
Oh,
So
thanks.
Sell it
Take
on
our fucking
Facebook Marketplace.
yeah.
Someone's gonna lowball me for a copy of Mario.
Skull.
Man,
I'm saying,
Marketplace is like...
If someone's trying to buy it on their own, it's $80, right? Sell it for $50.
Bro, fuck it. No, I'm putting my own tariffs on that shit. 5 for 90.
So can I? So
Fuck it.
you know something else I noticed about the Switch 2 is one of the first things I did. One of the first things I did when I booted everything up, and I don't know how you guys set yours up. I had downloaded or uploaded my profile to the Nintendo servers, and I just downloaded it onto my Switch 2. The first thing I did was go check out how the eShop ran. Because the eShop on the original Switch is one of the worst, most
Oh my
miserable
God.
fucking experiences I've ever had in my life.
It's up there with how bad the PS3.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That was what I was just gonna say.
it's-
Do you like getting my PS4 and like turning on PSN and it actually functioning was like
Right.
wonderful.
A revelation.
Here's the original Switch eShop experience for anyone who's unfamiliar. It's like this. Click to start. Wait. Okay, it's starting to load. You can click something else. Wait.
It was so bad, dude. It was
Okay, it's beginning to load. Everything's gonna take a second, but you can click if you know what you're... Wait.
like
Are the
it
downloads-
did that thing
Are
where
the
you would
download
like
speeds better?
No, but the thing is, all the things that's loading are just like 5 million shovelware titles.
right. Well, and but like on the original Switch in the eShop, you would type something and nothing would happen, and then 10 seconds later the word would just populate. You're like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you would mess
Yes.
you would mess something up, and you're like, God fucking damn it! So you had to spend 30 seconds deleting just to go back and change the letter. I am happy to report that the eShop actually runs like a fucking functional service now. Like it.
Yeah, Nintendo
Are the
finally realized.
download speeds better? Because like
Yes.
that was another thing.
Yes.
Like, okay, good.
So
Because
Yes.
I had a different experience, but like download speeds are tricky because over the years I've talked to everyone about Xbox, PSN, and like Nintendo download speeds. No one can agree on anything. Like Xbox has always been almost as slow as Nintendo for me. PlayStation's always been good, but people always used to complain about PSN speed. So my experience with Switch 2 today was I like did the network test. I was getting 200 megabits a second. It took 3 hours and 50 minutes to download Mario Kart, which like based on my speeds should have taken 10 minutes.
yeah, because that's kind of been what it's always been with the eShop for me. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
day
have
one
a
though.
gigabit
Like,
connection at my apartment.
I will tell you, I did not have that experience. I
Jeff.
opened
no
the
one
game
else
up
did.
and
I
started
talked to-
downloading, and like I
Everyone I
prioritized
talked
Mario
to
Kart
today-
World versus all the other shit that was in
Yep.
my account, and that shit was downloaded within about 12 minutes.
So mine took.
Everyone I talked to today had a good experience. So I don't know, like there's CDNs and service stuff too. Like maybe because I'm in Western Canada, like maybe
Could
the
be that.
infrastructure out here is just worse.
It
I don't
could
know,
be,
but
the Oilers won, and you already got one win, so maybe don't complain about the other thing too. Like, let's try that. But yes, but yeah, it only took me like 20 minutes. No, but I agree, right? Xbox has always been worse than Nintendo for some reason. Even the Switch One.
yeah, my
was way
Xbox
faster.
was always really slow.
Again, as we noticed, the Series S is a bad console. Like it took
Right.
forever to download anything. My PlayStation 5, even on like the worst days when my internet's like dying on me, like I can get stuff downloaded fairly quickly. The original Switch was fine. The Switch 2, again, I don't know what the hell happened to Mario Kart World for you. It's probably some weird anomaly, but like, I got Mario Kart downloaded in like less than 20 minutes. I got Tears of the Kingdom downloaded in like 10 minutes too.
There's also some. Maybe it depends on like your router or something. But there's a thread on Reddit, and it actually helped me. People were getting like 15 megabits when they have gigabit internet. If you go into like the network settings and disable IPv6 on like the Switch 2 network settings, it literally increased my download speeds by 10. So that's like one. So there's like maybe a couple. There's just too many variables, I think. But if 4 out of the 5 people on the show tonight are saying it's faster than Switch 1, then I guess That's good enough for me.
I
I
actually
don't know if it's faster. That could just be anecdotal. It's more so like I didn't notice it would be a better way to put it.
I actually
Okay,
want to
yeah.
I want to touch on
Usually
something.
still
right
like
about
some-
everything, so it's fine.
There's still some like annoying stuff. Like I was trying to just pause the download while I troubleshot my connection, and you can't just pause a download. You can only cancel it. Like I've
That's
never
just Nintendo. That's just Nintendo
Yeah.
doing stupid.
Yeah.
if you start downloading multiple games, it will pause some of them, but there's no actual download manager like there's on every other modern like game delivery system where you can just pause your download. It just doesn't exist. So they're still figuring it out. But yeah, the speeds
Still figuring out like like basic features. Wait till
they're
the Switch
figuring it
4.
out. They're getting there.
I also want
Switch
to
4 will have it.
I want to touch on something that Josh mentioned. The feeling of snapping those Joy-Cons in is infinitely pleasing. Like it is very, very.
Right.
This
right here. Right.
Yeah,
I just came.
it's so good. Like it's very. I'm like I did it a few times, and every time I'm like, wow, that is it's like ASMR. Like it's just fucking. It's like, oh man, like I could just listen to this shit all day long. Just click, 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 click. Fucking just and it feels, again, like I can't stress enough, when you put those things in there, it feels like one solid fucking unit. Like when I first heard that this was gonna be like
Real.
Go ahead, please. No, please.
No, go. No, my point's different. Go. Go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that, like when I first heard that it was gonna be like electromagnets keeping the Joy-Cons in place, I was like, oof. I was like, that could be bad. But no, this rules. Like it's fucking awesome. I absolutely love the new Joy-Con system.
When the price was announced, I know obviously like it's a stupid expensive console for what will ultimately still be my second console. Like this is still the second. This isn't the primary one. Like my PS5 will always be my first console. But there's a point where I was thinking like, okay, if they're charging that much, barring whatever like tariffs, barring whatever, like I assume they're confident in like there's a good product there, right? It's like when they charge $60 for a game. Yeah, like most companies wouldn't charge like $60 for a platformer, but like they do. There's a level of confidence there, so I kind of trusted. Okay, this will be a premium product at the very least, right? Like at the very least, like it's well worth it.
That's also why I'm like being a little bit more critical about Switch 2 is because like Switch 1 I was like, okay, it's Fisher Price toy. Like I'm not gonna talk too much shit about it.
Yeah,
right.
But, like, you know, the Switch 2 is like it was $750 for the console,
Oof.
and the games are $120. Like, so like I'm gonna, you know, that's fine. It is what it is. But like that increases the expectations, right? It's not like a cheap little kids console anymore. Like
at that point,
it's playing with the big boys. So
it's no longer the price
you know,
of a second console.
this isn't your father's.
it's a game
This
box,
isn't your
but it's
father's
also- it's a
Nintendo
piece of
Switch.
technology. Yeah.
Yeah, and
My-
go ahead, CJ, please. No, please.
Well, I was gonna say like my question relates more to like, and I was like reading up some stuff. The sort of outside stuff of the console. It's like I still feel the actual launch lineup is like a little weak compared to like. You know, I can't say compared to the Switch 1 because the Switch 1 only had 2 games launch, and again,
And one of them was on Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that my concern, I get it. I haven't played Mario Kart yet.
It's
so it's
real
like, obviously,
good.
like that's yeah, like that's fine, but it still feels like okay, most of these games are worse versions of like games that are on PS5.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like the Street Fighter's a launch title, Cyberpunk's a launch title. There's a lot of digital stuff that looks pretty good. I am not paying almost $30 for that Arcade Archives port of Ridge Racer. That's insane.
Yeah.
No one told me it was that much. Hell no. What are you talking about? Because it's like, you know, I get it. What is it? The N64 only launched with 2 games, but they're 2 games that like are finally remembered. The SNES launched with like the greatest Mario game ever made, right? There's like little things, right? Like this. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, Jeff and I think we only had the one game that it came with. Essentially, like just out of like pricing.
So, but the funny thing is, I never played Tears of the Kingdom because I specifically was holding out to play it on Switch 2. So I'm gonna play Tears of the Kingdom for the first time at 4K, like 60 on Switch 2.
Not a bad way to play.
Justin's not jealous. Justin is not jealous at all. But, I think like for the launch lineup talk, like the funny thing is, like there's been some good launch lineups, but like in modern history, the average console launch is like one first-party game that's not like their banger. It's like either the weaker part of a big franchise or kind of like their B
The
franchise.
studio's B team, it made something. Right.
Yeah. And but like the launch lineups kind of don't matter now. I'm gonna say because it was different, right? Like when the PS3 launched, the launch lineup was important because like a lot of people were abandoning their PS2, trading it in, selling it to migrate to PS3, and you're starting over. And those games are all you have. But now it's like everyone's just playing Fortnite, and then they get a Switch 2, and then they're just playing Fortnite on their Switch 2.
Did
Like the
not
launch
wait
lineup.
to see what Fortnite on this thing looks. You just reminded me.
It apparently runs very well, CJ.
Fuck. I hate video games, but I gotta see what
like,
Fortnite looks like.
You know, like
I will say,
go ahead, Josh. Let me say this real quick. And then I'll kick it over to you. I agree to a certain extent with CJ. That being said, about launch titles, like from a first party perspective, yeah, it is a little thin. That being said, I think there's two mitigating factors here. One, if you're gonna launch a new Nintendo console, launch it with a new Mario Kart game. And that's
a big plus. That's right.
I mean, one, Mario Kart World is fucking awesome, but two, like it is their Grand Theft Auto in terms of sales, right? So like that's what you want. If you're gonna launch it with something, launch it with Mario Kart. And two, like
that's the thing. Like when we talk about Switch 1, it was like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, but like I mean that game did kind of break it open. But at that time, the Zelda franchise like is popular, but
it was nowhere near.
Numbers, it was never. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so this
yeah,
is
absolutely.
like objectively a bigger launch title.
And
it's just interesting.
Well, and I also think that like I think Nintendo's thinking more launch window here than like launch day, because next month you get your big 3D character action platformer, Donkey Kong. I'm sure, and it looks great. It's the Odyssey team. I'm sure it will be great. I think if you're looking in this I think the big question for the Switch 2. And specifically talking about first-party games over the next 6 months is going to be, can they maintain that momentum, right? Like you start off with Mario Kart, then you have your big 3D character action platformer and Donkey Kong, but what comes after that? And I think,
but they do have something after that.
I mean,
you think? What I was going to say is we've got like. I think Nintendo knows that in today's day and age,
they do have Metroid.
Yes, you need to have the strong launch. You also, we are very much a cycle industry at this point, for good or for ill. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And if you that launch is going to carry you, but so long. If you don't have more releases before the holiday window, people are going to hit the holiday window and already be like, dead system, why the fuck did you spend money on it? You know how they are.
Like, the PS5 still has no games. It's been 5 years. There's
it
nothing
has
out.
no games. The
Zero
PS3
games.
actually still to this day has no games.
So,
no games
I
at
don't
all.
know if you're
Not a
aware.
single game in sight.
There was never actually a game for the
we need to
PS3.
borrow Xbox's games. Think about it, guys. Like, that's not.
Look at it in the window. Right now, you got launch comes, we got Mario Kart World. Next month, we got Donkey Kong Bonanza. Shortly after that, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Oh, I forgot about
small
that. Yeah,
deal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
They're trying to stack it up to go. We got to release every month and a half, 2
So
months.
you got to figure.
Boom, here's something. Boom, here's something. Metroid 4 coming. Boom, here's something. So that they can keep.
Metroid Prime 4 has got to be the November game, right?
That is the holiday release.
Yeah,
I believe didn't they already say that?
I don't think they said. I don't.
so.
Did they?
They just said this year, and we don't have a date yet, so it probably is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
that
it's-
has to be it because we don't have anything else.
But then
for
you've
it.
got
yeah,
no
they
shit,
have
no
their,
fuck. I just forgot. Then you've got fucking Kirby Air Riders too, and that's got to fit in somewhere because that's a 2025 game.
Oh my
they're-
god!
Sakurai said
Kirby
recently
Air
that
Ride.
it's gonna be they are working on it, but it is going to be a while for that game.
I thought it was
So I might be
2025
able to get that this year.
2026, but
Maybe,
still,
yeah.
you
Jeff,
get the
are you
point.
ready for that?
Is
Are you ready?
they're very much so doing a plan of it's what you said. They don't want a launch day. They want a launch year, if we can be honest.
Well-
They want to make sure this momentum carries through to the holidays. They saw the lines.
I just
They saw Nintendo. The fact that they can still pull a fucking Wii level line. outside
honestly
of a Best
my
Buy on a
biggest
midnight in the
right
middle of
now.
June.
My biggest regret about the Switch 2 right now is that I wasn't in the room to see CJ's face when Donkey Kong Bonanza was announced. Like that to me is the biggest missed
Oh, yeah.
opportunity
What?
I've ever been.
Wait, it was announced. I think the day they showed up. Yeah, I was at work. Bro. I was at work like a fucking loser. and I have to fucking sit there and watch both the Mario. There's a trend on Instagram where they censor the word job, and you know what? I agree. I fucking hate working because I could have been watching a fucking Donkey Kong trailer. That pissed me off.
I don't know, like the cycles thing is true, and like we see that all the time with like Sony especially, where they went really hard at the end of PS3, and then the first couple years of PS4 they really leaned on indie and third party stuff because they were like their first party output was tapped, and that's kind of where they're at now with like a lot of their big studios.
Mostly remasters and
let's just
free DLC.
Another version of The Last of Us. But I feel like this might be controversial. Like I did feel like Nintendo's output for like big new like original releases kind of was a little slow the last few years. Like they had some remakes, they had some remasters, they had some ports, and those were all good and well done. And yes, they had Tears of the Kingdom, but I feel like Nintendo's maybe been cooking a lot more than people think. I do feel like
I agree.
I know the Odyssey team is doing.
I think they've
feel
been
like there's a
saving
3D
it
Mario.
to go Switch 2.
There's a 3D Mario pretty far along. My gut.
Oh,
just tells me.
100%, dude. 100%.
100%.
And
There's
Super
going to be
Mario
a 3D platform.
128.
Within the next year,
It's next year.
My honest belief is within the next year, we're going to see a 3D Mario.
Yep.
We're going to see. I have to believe, and yes, for me, it's a bit of copium, but especially given the timeline, I think Fire Emblem's on the table, either a new one or that
Mother 4.
genealogy
They're gonna skip
remake
3.
that we've been
They're
hearing
gonna
about.
fuck
And
Mother
then
3. They're just gonna go straight to 4.
I don't know
And,
that we're gonna see it, especially because Sakurai and his team are working on Air Riders. But I think we will at least start hearing something about the inevitable Smash Bros. Next step, whatever it may be.
And it's not just it's not just first party games you have to consider here. Like for example, I expect in the next year, like the next fiscal year, let's say by the end of the fiscal year, not even that, no, within 12 months, right? 12 months. From now, I think you're going to see all of the Resident Evil remakes pop up on Switch 2. I think you're going to see all of the I think you're going to see games like Clair Obscur pop up there. I think you're going to see Final Fantasy 14 pop up on Switch 2. It plays on the Steam Deck. There's no reason it can't play on a Switch 2.
Oh, I would be shocked if any of those didn't.
Yeah, and further, if you guys don't mind, real quick, you guys tell me if I'm crazy or not. I think obviously not all. But I think you're going to see quite a few major third-party games this generation start to be developed with the Switch 2 in mind before the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. That's what I think.
No.
I think that would be simultaneous.
Games are already too far in development to make those changes. Games take way
no.
too long.
No. I mean, like
they didn't even have the unit.
I think he means moving forward, like anything that's, for instance, been in development for the last few months.
Yeah.
Like in that
Prioritizing
respect,
that hardware.
like you're right. Even if it's not exclusive, like it's kind of right now, like they know from the start a game has to run on Series S if it's multi-platform. It has to.
Yeah. Well, I think going forward, I just meant.
Well, we're not going to.
I don't
see those
expect
games for 5 years.
Yeah, we're not going to see those games for a few years. But it also, like, both Microsoft and Sony have kind of hinted at doing something handheld, also with
I'll tell you,
and
like,
stuff too. So I think scaling from portable hardware to a home console is going to be kind of a pretty common thing.
Well, what I'm saying is this: I think going forward, you are going to see games like Capcom and Square, for example, are going to make sure that Resident Evil 9 and Final Fantasy 17, for example, run on the Switch 2. Like, they may not run as well as they will on the other consoles, but they're going to find a way to get them on there.
It's definitely going to be different than last gen, where like there was some people that were on board with the Switch, and like in hindsight, it's kind of like, wow, like why didn't people get on with this from day one? And it sold over 100 million units, but like EA especially was so slow to do anything with the Switch.
More, like no other annual.
And it wasn't even like their current version; it was like the old. I just think like even if it's maybe not right now because those kits weren't really available and weren't accessible. I think very quickly within the next 6 to 12 months, like people know that this thing's going to be a big deal, and I think you're going to have more guys.
We'll know it's a big deal if Madden 26 is like as close to the PS5 version as possible.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like that will be, and also that will determine like moving forward. I will only play these games on Switch too. But like that's sort of the thing, right? I don't think Call of Duty is going to come to Switch. No. I don't think. the next Assassin's Creed will come to Switch. I don't think anything that big, that like intensive will come to Switch. But like John said, we'll see some Xbox One, PS4 ports getting thrown on there. We're gonna see Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We'll see Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Maybe we'll see the Resident Evil remakes. Yeah, some of the Final Fantasy games.
CJ, what about
Kingdom Hearts.
GTA 6? CJ, do you think that we'll see that on Switch too?
No.
6, no. 5, maybe.
Red Dead 2, 1000%. 1000.
Yep.
Red Dead 2 is
I agree.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
because we
and
pretty
Grand
much
Theft
know
Auto
by
5,
now
I think.
they're working on some kind of update for Red Dead 2. So I think that one probably
That'll
makes
come.
it.
I can't wait to buy that game 2 more times. That's gonna be fun.
I have to ask, what about Animal Crossing? Because like historically, they've gone long periods of time between those releases, but like New Leaf or New Horizons or whatever it's called.
I mean, it's been 5 years.
Well, there'll be one.
It's been 5 years, man. Like
Yeah.
it's time.
There'll
Like,
be one.
But the thing
I'm trying to go through, and the only console that they've missed getting an Animal Crossing on was the Wii U.
Which was funny.
you
That
had
was the
Game-
only Nintendo console I bought, and
Right, but
Yeah.
because you technically
God punish
original
you.
release N64, but
Yeah.
as we know it, GameCube. Then City Folk on the Wii.
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking about the most disappointing franchise?
Yes.
What is? I'm
Yes,
trying to
we
remember the DS, the original DS one. Wild
Yeah,
World on the DS.
Wild World.
New Leaf on 3DS. New Horizons on Switch. Like the only one they haven't done is Wii U.
God
There will
punish
be a
Jeff
new
for buying a
Animal
Wii U.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, the Wii U got the Animal Crossing
Thanks,
card
Jeff.
game.
You bought the Wii U, and that's why we didn't get Animal Crossing.
It got the card game.
man.
It got the Amiibo card game.
Yeah. Overall,
Finn,
like
I want to hit you
You're just mad because I'm right.
for that sentence.
so
For
like
bringing up Animal Crossing Amiibo Party or whatever the fuck it was.
I guess overall, like having spent a whole day with the Switch 2, I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm really bullish on it. And it sounds like everybody else is pretty happy about it too, and looking forward and like excited about the future.
It's just really nice to have a viable, like, it's like CJ said, it's always going to be my second or third console. Like, I don't have a huge investment in Nintendo IP aside from, like, you know, I love Pilot Wings, which I'm never going to fucking get. I've just accepted that. But like, most of my like good gaming equipment, like my 75-inch TV's in the basement. That's where my PS5 is, my gaming PC. But it's pitch dark down here. Like, I like to have that like cozy little nook upstairs.
Yeah.
And like I've really turned it into, I traded in all my retro systems years ago, and as much I still gonna give Nintendo shit for a lot of stuff. Like there's only 2 N64 games I want to play ever. I just would like to be able to purchase them and download them and play them. I don't want to have to sub. I don't want to have to sub to NSO.
Which two?
Pilot Wings 64. And and
Track.
yeah, and
No, not a joke. I know you love like
yeah.
Pilot Simulator and all that.
Okay.
Like genuinely, not Flight Simulator.
Okay.
I mean, not a joke. I was saying tracks. Like I should have thought
And
of that.
the one game I fucking love, rare 3D platformers. I love Banjo-Kazooie. Love Banjo. So the other one game I want to play is Donkey Kong
Conquer?
64.
Oh, God.
Where the fuck is
Oh,
it, Nintendo?
you're the
But,
one. You're the
joke.
one.
I agree actually.
Yeah.
That,
So
like-
anyways, like I got problems with that. But
I will join him.
Yeah.
I also love Donkey Kong 64. Is there too much shit to collect?
Probably.
Sure. I don't
I
care.
wanna know where
It's
the
a
fuck
fun
is-
fucking game.
Just put fucking Diddy Kong
But,
Racing on the Switch too, please. Like, that's,
Jeff, to your point, it's so funny,
yeah,
right?
fucking racing.
Because it's like habits change, right? The way I play video games change. It's every direct. It's always like it's hard being a Nintendo fan who doesn't care about Zelda or RPGs in general, right? So it's like, okay, well, I only play platformers, but they're not going to make 15 Mario games anymore. They're going to make like 1 per generation at this point. So I get it, right? That's why it's my second console. There's no viable way this could be like a primary console if I just didn't care about like half the games I played.
But
Like, that's
it's
the thing.
nice because like I wanted an excuse to play it, and before it's like Switch was like I really had to fucking get in the weeds to find like which game doesn't look like shit, which game doesn't run like shit.
Right.
But like you know, like they're
Man,
not
brother.
talking about Nintendo first
Right.
party, right? Like third party games on it that like maybe I don't need to play the huge 4K 120 version of my PS5. Like I just want to play this upstairs on my Switch. I want to have it sit in the backyard with it. But like it's nice that I have reasonable confidence games on Switch 2 are going to play good. They're going to look good.
Yep.
They're building up this really nice back catalog games. They got N64, Super Nintendo, GameCube. Like it's nice to have all that little retro stuff in this little box that just looks really nice. It's a good little package. I'm pretty excited for the future.
Well, and what's crazy is that despite the high price, like this thing's projected anyway, like anything could happen. But this thing is expected, according to, I can't remember the name of the firm, but to sell 100 million units by 2030, which is fucking wild.
Yeah.
I'm so happy the CEOs of Nintendo can eat.
That
I'm
number,
happy for them.
I expect it to do extremely well. 100 million in 5 years is an absolutely unheard of number.
Crazy. It's
I'm gonna be
$500
real though.
console.
Okay, so I want to be very clear about what I said because here's what I'm saying here. Am I saying they're gonna hit that number? No, it's a high number. Would anyone here actually be shocked at that?
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, because like nothing has been even close to that.
Isn't that what the first Switch hit?
I would be
Not in
shocked,
5
but
years.
I would also
it took
say
like 7 to get to that
if
point.
anyone could do it, it would be Nintendo because
Yeah.
they just have that like.
Or
They've
what is
got-
it? If Sony re-released the PS2 right now, they probably do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's the only other thing that.
If Sony
But
was
I agree
like,
with Justin. Like generation over generation, we're just seeing like we're not saying consoles are dead, are dying, or dead. We're not going back to that, right?
Jesus,
like,
no.
The video
Yeah.
games in the living room are not, but like they're flat, right? Like generation over generation, the user base is not increasing.
Yeah, especially like Xbox is in a different boat, but like PlayStation and Nintendo have been very consistent with the numbers that they've sold for the past couple consoles.
So like to hit that 100 million, either the user base needs to increase like by a lot, or the rate at which you sell them has to increase a lot.
I thought I
And
was right. Not that I
thing
was
is,
like
like,
trying to
if you
check
look
you here,
at it-
Justin, but I just went and looked. Switch originally dropped on March 31st, 2017. Now it's a little weird, like because fiscal years, right? But if they have VG sales actually breaks down all this shit.
VG sales doesn't have correct numbers.
Yeah,
Oh,
VG,
okay.
V-
Well, then there
VG,
you
V- VG sales is not a
Me-
yeah like
The other thing, which I just
You're
really,
not a
the last thing
reliable
I'll say,
site,
the other
John.
thing I have
that's
to
true.
point out is the Switch One has the COVID, the pandemic in
That's
it,
true.
right? Which I also need to like just every time this comes up, I have to eat so much crow on that because that year I fucking said like, man, video games are done. Everyone's laid off. Everyone's out of work. No one can afford to buy any consoles or games. And like fucking record year, I was
Tony
like,
Hawk
the
God,
literal-
why
posted
am I
it
even
out
on?
there.
Why am I even on a podcast?
the literal
I mean,
opposite
it's just
happened.
nobody
I
can
don't
go
know shit.
outside.
All right, but look, but going to CJ's point, though, I
Housing
think-
bubble? What's that? The economy's only going up.
hold on, go to Finn. You're mentioning
Yeah,
my
Finn,
name, and
please.
I assume I'm right in some way. So go
Oh,
ahead. Go
okay,
ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But no, what I'm saying is, to CJ's point about how the Switch isn't like a primary console, sometimes that works to its benefit because then it doesn't matter if you're a PC gamer, a Xbox gamer, or a PlayStation gamer. If your Switch is your second console, then that's everyone dipping into the Nintendo pool. And I think that's always been its best.
It is funny, right?
It's the middle of the
All
Venn
us-
diagram, right? Like you
yeah,
have a
all of us-
PS5 and a Switch, or an
It used to
Xbox
be
and a
what?
Switch, or
Even,
PC
even
and a
the
Switch.
Wii U was like trying to compete with like it's Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft,
Right.
Right? Like no one flocked to get a Wii U. This is one of those things where we're all like, well, we have to get a Switch too because, I can't play.
Right.
The console already. Right.
And that's why, like, that's why I'm not surprised. Like Josh said, I wouldn't be surprised if Switch hit that because even though other companies are like cannibalizing themselves and fighting amongst themselves, like again, Nintendo's just doing their own thing. And ever since they dropped handheld and they stopped competing with themselves, because that was always their biggest problem was Wii U wasn't getting games because the 3DS was the big seller. But when they finally combined them both into the Switch, then all their development teams got to just focus on one platform. You didn't no longer had to be like, I want a Nintendo, but do I want a handheld or do I want a console? Now it's just both. And I think the
And
smartest
also, you
thing-
do have to remember, like, how many people the last year or two held out from buying a Switch?
because they knew
Yeah.
the Switch
because
2 was
they've
on the
been
way. Yeah.
hearing about the Switch 2
Yep.
that's gonna be coming.
Yes,
So-
but on the flip side, like how many 100 million people bought a Switch? So
But that's
when you
always
look at
gonna be the
Switch
case.
No, no,
sales,
I
what-
agree.
no, but like when you look at Switch One sales, what were people coming from? What were they moving from? Wii U or
No,
Wii?
they were moving from
Like-
3DS.
Well, and also
Yeah,
the Wii.
okay, so sure. So 3DS, but now people are moving from Switch 1 to Switch 2. Like
But
I'm
that's
just
what makes it beautiful is because unlike the Wii to Wii U transition, Nintendo actually learned from their mistakes and people know this is a new product, not an add-on. And it's also backwards compatible.
But I
So
I
people
don't
that
know.
invested in their Switch are not left out. Like
I agree,
they
but I don't know that the
sell-
drive is as intense to move to it as it was from like a 3DS
Right,
or a
I-
Wii
I-
U.
I think what-
like a
I
lot of
think
people
what
found
is
is
like
like what?
the same-
Year
the same
one's going
thing,
to be the enthusiasts, and then in years 2, 3, 4, the people that bought Switches will eventually start upgrading.
I understand what you're saying because there's still what is it? People are still playing Fortnite on PS4
On
because
PS4, right? Yeah.
it's making money on that
It's,
console.
like the main thing is going to be like what's their cross-gen strategy, right? Like how long do they keep releasing games for Switch 1? That'll be really interesting to see.
Pokemon is releasing is cross-gen, which is weird. Why is Nintendo rarely does cross-gen stuff? That's bizarre to me. I guess
I
it's
mean,
just
they
one
were
of those
Breath of
things
the
where-
Wild.
No, I think the reason why they're doing it for Pokemon is because they understand
The install-
Pokemon sales numbers are just the amount they lose by closing off the Switch 1 generation is
Well,
not worth it.
Yep.
It's not.
And
I would get it.
they have to make sure with the new Pokemon release that it runs terrible on something. So
Yes.
But also think about it.
Speaking of
Great
though,
advertisement
jokes
for-
aside, one of the
great
first things I
advertisement for
did,
too.
I booted up Pokemon Violet on here.
It's crazy.
It is
how
a
well-
whole
yeah,
ass different game.
It's crazy.
Dude,
Yeah,
I-
it
I-
is.
it actually
Where-
looks wrong.
It is
like the footage I've
60
seen.
FPS, clean.
I'm
I
just,
don't care about
looks so
Pokemon at
wrong.
all. I am gonna buy a fucking Pokemon game on Switch 2.
I
want
I
that shit.
started playing it and running around. I hopped onto Miraidon, started boosting around, jumping through groups of Pokemon. It never dipped. I was like,
now
this
I've
is a
just
different experience.
I've got this mental picture of Justin just watching 60 frames a second Pokemon on YouTube, going no, this is
No.
no.
Well,
Like-
it hits this really weird,
Man was not meant for this.
it hits this really weird point because the resolution is a lot higher and the frame rate's a lot better, but it still doesn't look good.
It doesn't look
So, like,
great,
it-
yeah.
like,
No.
At
No,
least
no,
when
no,
it
like-
ran poorly, like that felt like it fit what it looked like. I'm like, this is weird. It's running super well and doesn't look
It's
good.
it's got the
These
charm.
graphics
It's
in
got the
2014.
charm of like one of those PS2 games with really basic assets, but like some of those oddly ran at like 60 FPS.
Or like you're playing something on an emulator with just like
Yeah.
the resolution way too high.
It was
See,
like when
also-
I bought Monster Hunter 3U on Wii U, and I didn't know it was like a port of like a DS game, and I was like, why does this look so fucking bad? But man, it runs all right.
So there is
See also every Tales of Symphonia port.
so I will have
How
I
the fuck
expect
did you figure out 60 FPS on GameCube and fuck it up everywhere else?
I expect that we're going to have more to say about some of the games on Switch 2 next week after everybody's had a little more time to kind of play it and digest it. I want to move on to our last topic, which is the week of Summer Games Fest, which kicked off with the State of Play yesterday.
Is that it, or is it our PAX impressions?
Oh shit, we got PAX too. I'll be honest, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I thought aside from playing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D, which was fucking awesome. Thank you, Square.
John, you spent 6 cumulative minutes on the floor.
Yeah, because there was nothing there. I mean, dude, like PAX was fucking empty this year.
See,
Like-
that was my initial impression too, until I actually spent time down the floor.
I mean, I went down to the
And I
floor a
ended
few
up
times.
walking away with a lot of really good games.
I mean, I didn't see anything that caught my eye at PAX this year. Again, like the highlight of PAX for me was being invited by Square to play Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which was fucking awesome, by the way. Which is really, really fucking awesome.
It was.
100%.
Yeah, like
That was very cool. So that was
Great
actually
default remake.
yeah, and that was my first time actually being able to do one of these
kind of behind
behind
the
closed
scenes.
doors.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So that was actually a really cool thing to be
Yeah.
invited to.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Those games seem like they're shaped.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
those games seem
gorgeous.
like they're shaping up
Oh,
really,
it's
really
gorgeous,
well.
gorgeous. Like I couldn't.
Well, Finn, why don't you give us your PAX impressions? Because I know your internet's kind of cutting in and out, and let's get yours done, and then we'll take it from there.
Sounds good. So I'll just talk about like the games I played, and I'll just be kind of very like quick, rapid fire impressions. I don't want to spend too much time on them because I actually did play a bunch of games. Um, I will say I was with John when we played Dragon Warrior 1 and 2, Bravely Default Remaster.
So
I saw that in action. I will say Dragon Warrior 3 or Dragon Quest 3 HD was phenomenal, but 1 and 2 are so good because they're almost complete remakes of a game where
Yeah.
you didn't have they're treating it like they did with Dragon Quest 3, but Dragon Quest 3 was such an advanced game versus 1 and 2 that bringing 1 and 2 up to those levels makes them feel absolutely brand new.
Yeah.
Can I chain
so cool.
off of that with agreement? I don't know. I want you to make all your points. I just want to make one quick thing. It made me. I also got to experience it on my own. It made me say a sentence I never thought I would say in the rest of my natural life is, man, I'm really excited to play the original Dragon Quest again.
Right?
Never thought I would say that sentence for the rest of my life. I genuinely want to play that shit.
It
Please
is.
continue.
I was so impressed.
No, you're good. So, okay. Oh, I want to say one of the my favorite games is a game that we saw a couple PAXs ago, and it's a guitar RPG called Fretless.
Fretless looked really cool.
Fretless, phenomenal. One of the best demos on the floor. It's almost out, so it was very polished, but like it's.
I think it is out. It was.
No, they pushed it back
Oh.
briefly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
coming out like next month. But it's just it takes the Mario RPG mechanics of timing your button presses and merges it with the rhythm based like aspect of like a harmonics title. And you know me, like and if you love Dragon Quest and you love dumb monsters with pun names, and Fretless does everything with music puns, and the game's just fantastic. Highly recommend it if you're an RPG person. One of the games that I discovered that I had never heard before was called Gigasword. It's a Metroidvania in spirit, but it's actually more of like a Zelda-style puzzle game, where the whole concept is your sword is so heavy, but it's also your only way to attack. So you have to choose between being able to fight enemies or leaving your sword so you can actually traverse the terrain. And so like when you have your sword, you can't jump as high, you can't run as fast, you can't dodge roll as far, you can't swim because you just sink. So it's this really cool like give and take of feeling vulnerable while trying to solve puzzles before reclaiming your sword. I don't know, it was really cool. Highly recommended that as well. I think one of my other ones I actually only discovered because John told me about it was a Neon Inferno.
Oh yeah. That is that shit.
So this
looks
is like
fucking
if
good.
Wild Guns and Contra had a baby with Cyberpunk. It was a run and gun action game
That looks
done
good.
in the vein of like the aesthetic of like 90s Sega games, and it was absolutely incredible.
Gorgeous game.
Also, one of my favorite surprises was Desktop Survivors 98, which is what if Vampire Survivors had a baby with the Windows 98 aesthetic, and all of your attacks, all of your enemies, all your screens are based off of Windows 98, that era of computers. It was fantastic.
It was super cool, and I was with Finn while he was conducting this interview, and they were selling like jewel cases with like burnt CDs with the game on it that you could buy, and they said they actually stayed up burning the CDs like in their office to bring in for the jewel case edition, which is really cool.
Sorry, Vicky.
I also played
Vicky
a game
made some.
called
Vicky,
Sky of... Oh,
oh god, Vicky made some rosemary
what?
bread with some butter on it. Oh my god. Anyway, please keep going.
okay. I played a game called Sky of Tides, which I'm surprised we haven't seen more games kind of emulate the success of this, but it's very heavily inspired by Disco Elysium. Just a narrative RPG. Really, the demo. Normally, like games like that, very text heavy. atmospheric games don't demo well, but I had like enough time to sit and actually enjoy it and not like rush myself. That was really enjoyable. I'm a big Disco Elysium fan, so that was a nice surprise. Um, let's see. I played a game called Mind Diver from Playism. This was cool. This was like a story heavy game where you're diving into people's memories, trying to reconstruct someone like these people are being plagued by a weird amnesia epidemic, and you have to like dive into their minds to reconstruct their memories and find this missing person. I don't know. Demo was super cool. The whole concept was just on point. Um, let's see. I have them all written down here. I played a game called Be My Horde, and you play as this necromancer queen, and you go about and you start, like, every enemy you kill, you
Well,
can
hold on, Finn.
resummon as your own enemies. But,
What,
like,
Finn? What was it called?
yes. Be
was it?
My Horde, like a
Oh.
horde of monsters. You know,
I know. I heard the same thing, John.
Okay, yeah,
You heard what
okay,
you wanted to hear.
No, no. Jeff heard it too. So, just saying.
Uh-huh. I will say a really nice surprise was when I got to go to the behind closed doors of Bandai Namco and play Shadow Labyrinth, the Pac-Man like dark Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that controls so beautifully. That game was fun as hell. The Pac-Man aesthetic is so weird, but works so well. When you bust out your fucking Pac-Man mech and you're fighting aliens, it should not work, but it does, and it's so damn good. And then the last one I'll talk about is a game called Revenant's Reach. It is, it's just good. I don't know really how to put it. Oh, wait, I forgot about Tanuki Pawn Summer by the guy that made Curse to Golf. That was just a lot of fun. Revenant's Reach is a game I played a couple PAXs ago. It's very heavily inspired by like Dead Cells and Celeste, where it's all about precision platforming and like really brutal combat. But it's not a roguelike, so which always elevates a game in my eyes. I like to have a set structure to play through and not have everything reset itself. So I don't know. All of those games, strong like contenders. I think if I had to pick my top three, it'd be pretty easy: Fretless, Shadow Labyrinth, and probably Desktop Survivors 98. I'm not counting Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 because games like that are known quantities. You already know you're going to love them, right? Like, I love to focus on the indie stuff. Oh, Neon Inferno would be... I'd put Neon Inferno over Desktop Survivor. So, yeah, top three, Fretless, Shadow Labyrinth, Neon Inferno. Go team.
I'll be
Please
honest.
continue.
I didn't.
Well, I want to talk about my favorite thing that was on the show
Oh,
floor.
go ahead, please. Yeah.
Please. Oh, yeah. Yeah, talk about
which
it.
was a super cool experience, and I got to talk to the team behind it a little bit.
Was it Mind's Eye?
No, unfortunately it was not. There was a booth set up for Shotgun Roulette, which is has been on Steam for a little while. It's done decently well. It is $3, so if you want to check it out, it's a fun game. However, they had a Play Shotgun Roulette for Real booth.
People died. A lot of people died, lost their lives. It was terrible.
Oh yeah. So Shotgun Roulette is kind of like a horror aesthetic on a. It's kind of like a board game kind of thing. Basically, you can choose to. So you have to pump the shotgun, and then you choose to shoot it at yourself, or you choose to shoot it at one of the other people. And some of the shells are blanks, some of them are real, and you have health. And so in the video game version of it, it's you versus this creepy guy at the end of the table. We played it for real, so they had an actual shotgun. Oh, not an actual shotgun, like this
with real
air
bullets.
Well, it was this it fired out like a puff of air, so you actually did feel it when you shot it. But they had like an NFC connection thing in the center of the stage, and there was a screen for each person, and it kept track of your health. It kept track of how many shells were in the shotgun, and then we even got the items that would get divvied up. So after the first round, every player got an item, and we physically put the item like on the NFC connection thing, and it did what it does in the game, and they were like 3D printed versions of the actual models from the game. It was such a cool thing to have on the show floor, because it actually was like a demo of Shotgun Roulette. That's exactly how that game plays. But it was something that was really special, really memorable, and could only be done in person. And that's the sort of thing that I love to see at cons that we have been seeing less and less of lately. And it was just a really, really cool thing to see and experience. It was really fun. It was really memorable. And the team actually talked to me a little bit about the development of this version of the game. They had originally booked a booth at the Tokyo Game Show near the initial release of the game, and they had 3 weeks where they had to develop it from the ground up. So they basically had to port the game from, I think the PC game is made in Godot. They had to port it to Unity and develop it to work with all the screens and stuff. And the version in Tokyo, they were not able to bring some of this stuff because some of it for international travel was not easy, but they did have a larger, very realistic 3D printed shotgun for that version, as well as electroshock chairs. They had a lot of fun putting it together. It was a really, really cool thing, because I don't think many games could actually have a physical thing that you could play in person that really does feel like the game. And it was just a really neat, memorable, and unique thing on the show floor. I had a lot of fun with it.
So there is one thing I want to
Yeah,
mention.
watching your guys' videos were really cool for that, for your pictures.
Yes.
There is one thing I want to
If
mention.
y'all are
before
okay with it.
Oh, go ahead. No, Josh, go ahead.
No, I had like 3 games I wanted to call out that haven't been mentioned yet. That
Okay.
I
Please
got
do.
to experience that were all really good. One of them, I worked with the company before. I knew it was going to be there, but like the current build is there, which I believe it is officially released. You can go buy it on Steam now. Ocean Drive Studios has Lost Eidolon's Veil of the Witch out. If you've not heard of Lost Eidolons, the original release, it was a strategy RPG. Best way I can explain it is something to the tune of Fire Emblem-ish mechanics, Dragon Age-esque aesthetics. Like very grounded in reality, but strategy turn-based RPG. Veil of the Witch is same idea, but it is a roguelike. So you just have multiple runs. And it is really good. The characters are awesome. The designs are awesome. I love that they naturally, even though they are a brand new studio, they put a ton of money into the voice work. They naturally have a very, very diverse cast in multiple ways. Really awesome. Good stuff. So go support them. Another one that is newer, I don't think this one's released officially, but there is a demo you can find on Steam right now. It's called Demon School. It is also a tactical RPG.
Oh, Demon School
but
is fantastic.
Right? So it's very much inspired by like early Persona, like Persona 1, Persona 2, bunch of kids in school fighting demons. But one of the cool things about it is basically instead of you moving each of your units and doing a thing, you have to plot out your entire sequence of moves for your whole party at the beginning of your turn, and then you execute them all at once. And I know it doesn't sound like a big change, but when you actually play it, it makes you completely rethink how you're moving characters and maneuvering and things like that. It's very, very cool. And then the last one is a completely different vibe and experience entirely. It is called Moral Optics. It is on itch.io. It's made by a small team.
There's some good
Basically,
shit on
it
itch, man.
Yes. So with Moral Optics, it's more of an experience. You play a dude who is... this is going to hit home for a lot of people, and you may be like, why do I want to live this out anyways? You play a dude who is dealing with debt and having a hard time finding a job, can't seem to find a job anywhere, dealing with all this shit, and finally gets an opportunity to work for a company. And that company is very clearly evil.
And I took that personally.
Specifically, right. They make glasses, and you piece out very early on that there's some shit going on with their glasses. But also, so much of it is very satirical and tongue-in-cheek. Essentially, you keep having to try and essentially decide whether to go along with your tasks to keep a job, or do you not? Do you push back? Do you screw up on purpose? Maybe threaten your work? And it's a very cool thing, but they use live action video at times and things like that. The best way I can explain it, not at all in terms of the gameplay, but in terms of how it made me feel, it is the closest thing I felt to Inscription outside of playing that, if you've ever played it. Like, it is very surreal. It is not jump scare scary at all, but it is very creepy how so much of it is like, okay, this is tongue in cheek, but I also see where this is real life, and it just skeeves me the fuck out. Like, it's very, very good at setting tone, so it's really worth your time. It's called Moral Optics.
Well, I had aside from some cool panels I was on, I had a mostly miserable PAX, so I don't really have a whole lot to say. I do want to close the podcast out with this. Josh, Finn, dude, it finally happened. We got our. You know what? Final Fantasy Tactics is back. All is right. All is right with the world. I couldn't fucking be happier. I could not be happier. I'm going to talk more about it next week because we do need to start wrapping it up here.
Yeah, I think for next week we got our buddy Sam Tolbert on.
Yep.
So let's do
Next
week we'll probably do like State of Play and SDGC.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sam is physically at Summer Games Fest, so he'll have some really good stuff to talk about there, and we'll do all the State of Play stuff next week, and half that'll be tactics. So you can go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me online at Blue Sky, on YouTube, on Twitch, on all those places. My name's Josh. I go by Anorian, Anoriand. I make a lot of live stream content. I do a lot of Magic the Gathering content. I will be in Las Vegas in 2 weeks, literally exactly, for Magic Con Vegas. I'm very excited for that. I got invited out as a content creator. And so you find a lot of Magic content. I tend to do Friday morning Magic on my channel where I be playing some type of thing. And otherwise, I do various live streams recently. And I will be probably either finishing it tomorrow or finishing it Saturday or finishing it Sunday. I will occasionally do challenge runs and the like. And I have been running through the remaster of Suikoden in hard mode of, can you beat Suikoden 1 with only losers? I.e. all of the worst characters. It's a fun time.
No, it's not. I know it's not.
Fun time.
All right, everybody.
It's fine. I know the game well enough that I'm still winning.
I know you do. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. We are happy to be back, and we are going to have even more to talk about next week. So until then, take care of each other, stay safe, and we'll see you later.